Happy Thursday, everyone. Today is the day of the much anticipated ADEQ meeting to go over the results of the testing that they did in Cottonwood. So I wanted to send out an announcement with the link for those of you who can't attend in person. You can attend virtually. And for those of you who can attend in person, to remind you that it's at the Cottonwood Rec Center tonight on 6th Street from 6 to 8 p.m. I also wanted to come on and address some of the criticism that I have been getting recently. And to start by saying that I think criticism is a wonderful tool. You cannot expect to be in the public eye, to be an advocate and not receive criticism. I value all criticism. I value all feedback, all questions. Where did you get that information? Why did you make this statement? I think it's really important for, we have a vast array of knowledge base and experience base in our community. People who have lived here for generations, people like me who have lived here for 20 years, and others who have just moved here. And so everybody brings with them their own unique perspective. And anytime that somebody has concerns, I believe that they should be able to bring those concerns forth without retribution. I'm bringing a lot of concerns to the city, to ADEQ, to the community. And so if I'm willing to bring concerns and critical feedback and criticism to others, I should certainly be open and receptive to accepting that back. So to anybody who is criticizing me, thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your criticisms. They helped me grow. They helped me to understand the perspectives and perhaps the misunderstandings that the community has around some of these issues, and where I can do a better job of being more clear and better explaining things. So you, the critics, the devil's advocates, you are a valuable and critical part of this process and what I'm attempting, and those in my group are attempting to do. So thank you. Continue. And if you ever want to reach out to me directly, you can contact me via my cell phone, which is 928-202-9344. I think it's important to note, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a mom who knows how to research and who's diligent. That has led me down this path. So all of the information I always give, I give with the expectation that you will take that information and do your own research. And I'm always happy to cite my work and where I get my information from. But legal disclaimer, I am not an expert in this field. I'm just a mom. But there is a lot of data. There are a lot of facts here that don't require an expert to be able to read, interpret, and share. And my aim is really always to share what the facts are. I want to talk about the notice that the City of Cottonwood sent out, saying that the soil results have not yet been released. That is incorrect. The City of Cottonwood does not have the soil results, but the soil results have been released. To anybody who cared to ask or request them, had a copy of, or was able to get a copy of those results. The county, Supervisor Donna Michaels was able to receive a copy of those results. Those of us who were within the citizen activism group, we all received a copy of those results. So the statement that those results have not been released, honey, you need to go away, that those results have not been released is inaccurate. There has been rampant apathy within the City of Cottonwood. So them not having the results is a result of their own negligence, not because those results were not available if they had requested them. So that is one thing that I would like to say about that. The information that I have been giving has been based off of those results. I will have them with me tonight at the meeting. I will post them onto the website. If ADEQ does not make them easily accessible through their website, I will have them on the OCS Child Safety website. The conclusion that the city makes is that the air quality testing that ADEQ did proves that there is no health risk to children at the kids park based off of air. I'd like to share with you a few facts about the air results. The EPA requires at least 75% completeness of data on air testing. So if you're testing for air and you miss a couple things here or there and you don't have complete data, I know that ADEQ was originally shooting for 90% completeness. Bare minimum is 75% completeness. The air quality data for the kids park came in at only 69% completeness. So it didn't even meet the minimum standards to be able to make determinations. So although the City of Cottonwood is saying that the determination has been made and it has been safe, that is based off of incomplete information. During the time that the testing modules were up was during the time of the Yavapai County Fair, or I'm sorry, the Verde Valley Fair. At our fairgrounds. And one of the big concerns for us as citizens is the dust from the slag pile that we have observed and recorded blowing onto the fairgrounds, then blows into the children's park. Anytime that anybody drives around the fairgrounds, of course, it's dusty. During the fair, there's thousands of cars, so it's a literal dust storm. And so we were really excited to have data from that time to see what was in the air and to make sure that it was safe. However, during this study, the air modules, sampling modules were turned off or otherwise not operating during the span of a week before the fair and a few days after the fair. So there was about a 2-week span. If you want to know the exact dates, I have the exact dates somewhere. So that was also interesting that the air modules were not operational during the time of the fair. Another thing to note is the element of concern, the element that has shown up in the soil results, which have been released to the public, just not the City of Cottonwood, show extremely high levels of arsenic. So arsenic is the element of concern. However, ADEQ does not test or regulate arsenic in air. So the fact that they say that the air quality has come back and shown there's no hazard, it's incomplete, 69%, minimum requirement 75%. It was shut down during the most critical time of testing. They do not even test for arsenic. So we do not have any idea what the concentration of arsenic was in the dust that they did collect. So those are some important facts to know when you read this announcement. One of the criticisms that I have received is that I am fear-mongering and that I am scaring children by giving false information that there are dangerous levels of arsenic. There is a paper that is titled Hazards of Short-Term Exposure to Arsenic Contaminated Soil. If you Google that, you'll be able to pull up the paper. It's from the Washington State Department of Health. The goal of this paper was to determine levels of high hazard for people who are exposed to arsenic in soils. So they looked at how much soil children normally consume in a day. So if you're a child who plays outside like my children do, they're always digging in the dirt, they're picking up rocks, there's dirt underneath their nails, they got their hands in their mouth, they're eating food. So children normally ingest a certain amount of soil on a daily basis as just a matter of life. So this paper looked to determine how much soil the average child eats in a single day, and then to determine what level of arsenic could be fatal to a child after consuming a single day's worth of soil that a child normally consumes. And this study found that child exposure to contaminated soil that can result in death is 162 milligrams of arsenic per kilograms of soil. 162 milligrams of arsenic per kilogram of soil is the fatality limit for children. The slag crushing operation, the results for the slag crushing operation, results number 91, 92, and 93, show soil arsenic concentrations between 300 to 537 milligrams per kilogram. Child fatality level is 162. The slag crushing plant is testing up to 537. The road that leads out of the slag crushing plant is Birch Street. Taylor Waste is on that with their, it's where they store their dumpsters. It's where their building is. Birch Street tested in the 200s, 300s, 400s, all the way up to 1,339 milligrams per kilogram of arsenic in the soil. That 1,339 milligrams per kilogram result is result number 113. When we're looking at the fact that this is right next to our rec center, right next to the kids park, and these soil arsenic levels are many, many, many times higher than the child fatality level, it is definitely something to be very concerned about. The police and fire station are encompass a block right in the heart of the slag crushing operation as well. And that block tested above 200. There were samples there that tested well above the child fatality limit of 162. Okay, so I don't put that out there to like be a fear monger. I put that out there so you as parents, or you who work in that area or visit that area or shop in that area, can know that you probably shouldn't be letting your children be playing on the ground, be digging their fingers into the soil, putting their hands in their mouth, eating food, doing cartwheels. I've watched kids walk down those sidewalks where they're throwing dirt at each other, they're kicking dirt at each other. They're kids. They're walking back and forth between the kids park and the rec center, and that's all the area of this highest level of contamination. Many people have asked me what the soil results at the fairgrounds came back as because of the amount of dust that's produced there. And the answer is we don't know because the fairgrounds denied ADEQ from doing testing on their property. And so we're hoping to be able to compel, in the interest of public health, that those soils be tested. So in short, tonight is a very important meeting that I encourage everybody to either attend in person or virtually if you live, visit, or work in the Cottonwood area. I invite all criticism. I invite all feedback. I invite all questions. I need it. I value it. It helps me to have a better understanding of what the community's understandings are and what their needs are. It can direct my communications and my group's communications moving forward. There has been a citizens group that has formed comprised of myself, Dr. Shada Sina, Dr. Michaels, the Yavapai County Supervisor. We have Ursula Conway joining us from Children's Health Defense. She's been with us for, not joining us recently, she's been with us for a year. There are a few other local doctors. We've been working with the environmental department from the University of Arizona and its doctorate program through Dr. Ramirez, an amazing environmental scientist. We have Zoom calls regularly to look at results, to discuss results, what they mean, what impacts they have, what we can do next. So there's definitely quite a few of us who have invested the time to really understand this, to put aside any personal opinions that we might have and really look at what do the scientists say, what does the data say, what do the results say, what impact is that having, what diseases and illnesses are we seeing in our own children and people who live in that area. What can we do to stop the contamination? What can we do to clean it up? And how can we move forward in a way that is safe for everybody? So thank you. God bless you. I hope to see you tonight.